The reason why was because I had a network of people already there that could watch my asset and recommend people for me. So when you're an out-of-state investor, your network is more important than whatever city has 1 or 2 percentage points better performance. One wrong contractor, one bad tenant will erase all of that advantage that city X has over the one that you know people in. If you know people somewhere, that's where you need to invest in.
Welcome, my fellow Flowmasters, to another episode of the Cash Flow Authority podcast. I'm your host, Chris Jansen, founder of the Flow Authority, and this show is meant for high-performing professionals who did everything right. You've got the degree, you've got your career, you've got your income, but you just feel like there's still something missing, there's another level waiting. So here we explore how real estate can become that next challenge worth building so that you can take ownership of your future and create a life by design. Now today, we're joined by a special guest. His name is Andrew Postell, and Andrew is a United States Marine Corps veteran. I love my Marines. I'm a Marine. I had another Marine on. This is just great. Love sharing the stage with fellow veterans here. And he's got 25 plus years in real estate investing experience. He's known for his expertise in the BRRRR strategy and is a self-made millionaire. Fun fact, also a Florida Collegiate Hall of Fame inductee. That's pretty awesome. And has been recognized as a top 1% loan officer in America. So welcome, Andrew. Really excited to have you here today.
Thank you, Chris. It's my honor to be here. Appreciate you having me on your show.
You bet, you bet. So I always like to kind of start off with a journey question, trying to figure out how did you get into real estate? Can you talk a little bit about that? And I don't know if the Marine Corps played a role in that at all, but kind of your path from Marine Corps to real estate investing.
Yeah, I had a really good example growing up, Chris. My uncle was a military veteran. He fought in Vietnam. And every time he moved around the country, he kept his house. And now we moved a lot too, but every time we moved, my father sold the home to buy the next home. And when you're a kid, there's no difference between you and anybody else. Everybody's the same. But as you get older, you're like, wait a minute, my uncle, he's got a pretty nice life. So I just tried to emulate what he did. The Marines helped bring it out of me for sure. That place got me on the straight and narrow. But that was the beginning of my journey, learning from an example such as my uncle.
Awesome. And did you take any specific lessons from the Marine Corps that has helped you on the real estate journey? Because I asked my other friend that. He had some answers. I've got my own insights. I'm always curious to see. Everybody's experience is a little bit different.
Yeah, you can't, it's impossible to say there was nothing that influenced me from the Marines, right? Of
Right.
course it did. Of course it did. So it's the intangible things, the discipline of it. You will not fail when you do it. There's an analytical piece of it too, but not too analytical. The more you wait, the more you delay. If you delay too much, another unit behind you might be suffering. So you've got to make your actions fast, be decisive, and you will not fail. If you have that mentality, it's hard to have, but you're going to be just fine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you do fail, you fail forward. You take lessons away from those mistakes. So I like to reframe it. I don't really think of it as a failure. It's a lesson learned, and now I can apply that on the next one so I don't make the same mistakes. And it's as long as you don't quit, it's something I always hear, right? As long as you don't quit, you're never going to fail, right?
Real estate will forgive you. It is kind of crazy. You hang on to it. It'll forgive you.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it for sure. So for someone who's looking to get started in real estate today, what's something they can do to kickstart that path for themselves? They've never done a deal before. Where should they start?
Oh, okay. So Chris, I'm going to be very definitive about what I'm going to say here. I want people to focus on their own primary home. It's so difficult to be a homeowner these days. So difficult. Only 4% of Americans own 2 homes. We're in real estate, right? We think everybody does it. Not everybody does it. And very few people have 2 or 3. But if you can have your own home that you pay yourself in, you pay down your mortgage. Remember, if you rent, you pay me. Andrew doesn't need your money anymore. Pay yourself. Find a home that can support yourself or your family. I started with house hacking my first home. If I buy my primary home, Chris, I have an agent that's there to protect me. I have the home inspected. I'm under contract. There's these levels of protection in place that make sure that if it's a crazy deal, I can back out.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm doing the BRRRR method, I don't have any of those. None of that exists. So if I'm guiding somebody like, hey, how should I start? I want you to think about, okay, we don't have hard pressure here. I want you to think about your primary home first.
Gotcha. That's interesting. I've heard different opinions about that from different investors, but I feel like it depends on what your ultimate strategy is with it, and you kind of want to look at your whole cash flow situation, right? Cash flow is the name of the game, baby. For me, for example, I bought, but now I'm moving to Dallas. I'm planning my move to Dallas, and frankly, I'm like, for right now at least, I'm like, it's gonna be cheap. It's $1,200 to rent there. This condo that I'm living in right now, I'm paying like $4,100 for an 800 square foot condo. Granted, it's Southern California, but if I look at it that way, that's another thing to consider, right? Is cash flow when you're kind of considering all those pieces. But that's interesting though, the 4% stat. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, a lot of this is chess, right? What does chess teach us? It's a bunch of pieces on the table, but it really teaches you about how to plan ahead moves. So even if you have a home now and it's not going so well, in 5 years, in 10 years, you can be very thankful that you have it. It's not getting any easier. It's getting really tough for a lot of people. And it's frustrating for me to say it like this, but our society, if you own a home, you're in a place of privilege. That's a crazy statement to have.
That's true.
But that's the case. And it's not going to get any slower or any less valuable. Remember, countries go to war over land.
Yeah.
They're not making any more of it. So everybody's different, you're correct. But this is a long-term plan. 1 or 2 years. Like I bought homes in '08. If I just looked at those homes after 2 or 3 years, I would not be where I am today.
Yeah.
It is a long-term plan. Stay with it. I promise you're going to be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You also mentioned house hacking. I love that, the idea of that. And if I were starting over, that's probably what I would do. If I would buy a home first, but I would house hack, because then you're going to pay less than you would if you're renting, right? You're going to have income coming in. If you buy in certain markets, you might even cash flow a little bit, perhaps.
I felt like house hacking, I stumbled on it. Remember, I did this 25 years ago. These terms weren't around. There was no podcast for me to go watch. Okay, the internet was barely a thing. So if you're watching this program, make sure you're continuing to follow and learn from it. So many different guests, right? Yeah, absorb everybody's opinion. We got to where we are by having a strong opinion of our own journey. For me, house hacking was just me having my friends rent out rooms, and we had a great time. We had parties, and we'd go to the gym together and work out and bond. Yeah, there was a financial thing there, but the intangible piece of it is where I have the memories of that home. And my friends to this day, they're lifelong friends. They're like, remember that house on Globe? That was such a great home. Yeah. And it wasn't. It was a terrible home. It was just made out of cinder blocks. It was not a very nice home.
Yeah.
But the memories to it were great. So
nice.
House hacking for me, I helped my friends. I absolutely had a financial benefit from it. And I would encourage anyone, if you're in the place, right, I can't do that now. But if you have the ability to do it, it is a great way to start.
Okay, so I really want to get into the BRRRR method, the BRRRR strategy. You had mentioned this. I mentioned it on the intro when I was introducing you as well. And it's something I myself have been thinking about using a little bit more as a powerful strategy to kind of add a couple units at a time to the portfolio. So can you maybe define what is the BRRRR method, and then go into how you used it yourself and how investors can think about this? What would work as a BRRRR method, and maybe what to look out for as well?
Sure. And Chris, the BRRRR method for me solved for X. And X being, I didn't have any money. If I don't have any money, how do I get involved in real estate? So the primary home piece, house hacking, I did that without any money or very little money. So that got me started, but I couldn't acquire fast enough with just the primary home. So the BRRRR method is an acronym. It stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. Okay? B and 4 R's. I have learned through the years that I am better with the BRRRR when I'm buying off-market properties that are such terrible shape they can't even be sold on the MLS. They're awful. That's the kind of home that I want. And then I have to bid on it like an unreasonably low price where it's offensive.
Yeah.
Because there is a formula to it. There's a formula that you have to make a profit. And sometimes to make a profit, you've got to get a little crazy on the price. I make about 100 offers a year, Chris, and I do 2. That's how hard it is. But me doing that, I'm now a millionaire from it. So I can only speak from my own experience. It put me in a place I never thought I would be.
And are you only looking in one market or kind of looking all over the place? Where are you focused on doing deals?
Yeah, I'm a 15-year out-of-state investor. I lived in New York City, right? So in New York City, you can't buy real estate there unless you're like really wealthy. So for the longest time, I held properties in Jacksonville, Florida. And why did I invest in Jacksonville? Isn't this other city a little bit better than that one? The reason why was because I had a network of people already there that could watch my asset and recommend people for me. So when you're an out-of-state investor, your network is more important than whatever city has 1 or 2 percentage points better performance. One wrong contractor, one bad tenant will erase all of that advantage that city X has over the one that you know people in. If you know people somewhere, that's where you need to invest in. I'm lucky and fortunate to live in Dallas, Fort Worth. There's plenty of space here for great rental properties. It wasn't always the case, but now I invest in this market because I'm here, and I do it within an hour. Okay, so I want to be able to drive to my homes. But yeah, now I've sold all my homes in Florida through a 1031 exchange, and I own more homes here in Texas, and I'm continuing to acquire properties.
Nice, nice. And you're buying off market, so do you use a realtor at all, or you're sourcing everything yourself? You got a team, or how are you approaching that?
So my network is very important. The way that I structure my network is I go to as many real estate investor meetings as I can. They're virtual. I go to as many as it's possible for me to do. And in these networking groups, it's usually, hey, who's a wholesaler? Oh, you're a wholesaler? Give me your card. You're a wholesaler? Put me on your buyer's list. So I've got this huge list of wholesalers. Just like everything, people fall off. They don't do it anymore. Got to add more back into it. I get about 80 to 90 properties a week. And if it's within my target area or what type of property I like, I make an offer. Even if they're asking a ridiculous price for it, it doesn't work, I still make the offer, Chris. I have properties where I'm the only person who even made an offer because their price was so ridiculous. You make the offer and you stick to your numbers, and if everything works out, you'll have a great property.
So with wholesalers, just because I do look at a lot of deals with wholesalers, but for me, they're out of state. So, but you dealt with that yourself when you were doing this in Jacksonville. So if you're working with wholesalers, and are you going and physically looking at the property every time? Or are you just going off their photos? Are you doing an inspection? How are you going about that?
Every time I look at it. Every time.
Good.
So if it's in my local market where I live, I go and look at the property. If they don't let me in, I'm not giving them an offer until I do. Oh, we sold it. Okay, I'm on to the next one then.
Yeah.
I do not put that much risk in it. I have to know everything going on the property.
Yeah, very good. Very good. And that's important. That's part of your due diligence, right? I know a lot of wholesalers, they get under contract, it's a cash offer, there's no contingencies. You can still do an inspection, but there's no contingency, right? So you're spending the money, you're not getting the money back, nothing like that. And that's the thing with wholesalers. So that's why I like that idea of, okay, you got to know what you're getting into first. And I don't know if you do professional inspections or if you just trust yourself enough after walking through them so many times. Yep. So that's another piece of it. But I don't know. I don't trust myself walking through a property enough times yet. And And then I also, like I said, doing this out of state, I have other people walking it for me, but I always do the inspection. So it just depends on where you're at, what your experience level is, and things like that. But that's great. That's great that you can do that. Sounds like you got a good system in place for yourself.
Yeah, and Chris, don't forget, it took me a long time to get to where I am now. So
Yeah.
when I first got started doing this, like my first BRRRR property, I
Uh-huh.
bought for $7,000.
Nice.
I
There you go.
knew that, and it wasn't a very nice home. I knew that if I made a mistake, at least it'd be a small mistake. So even on that $7,000 home, I put $23,000 of rehab into it, and after it was all done, it was worth 30. Ooh. I didn't understand the relationship between the value and the rehab and the purchase. I didn't understand any of that.
Yeah.
And then my next one I bought for 23,000. I was like, okay, I'll just buy one that doesn't need as much work. So I bought it for 23,000. I put $7,000 of repair in that one, and then it was worth 30. It took me a while, but I did start on small homes because I didn't have any asset. That was my life savings. Bigger. That's all I had, and it was a good
Yeah.
lesson for sure.
But then nonetheless, you were able to rent those. But
Oh
even though
yeah.
they're only worth $30,000, you're able to rent them, get some cash flow, and I'm sure over time they appreciate it and everything, and it's still
Owner
worth it.
owner financed them. Owner financed them when I sold them. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's hilarious because I'm literally doing that right now on the one BRRRR method property that I did. It's funny because I bought it for 30,000, but got it appraised for 91, and so it was pretty good. I don't remember the exact amount that I put in, but I made a little bit of a profit on it. But I love that concept again of seller finance as long as the numbers work. This one, the numbers were perfect. I'm like, I can keep their rent payment. They can rent it for a year, do a lease option, rent it for a year. That's basically what we're negotiating right now is the lease option. And after 1 year, then it'll convert to a land contract, and they'll basically keep their payments the same for in this case
Hmm.
15 years. But if you can do it where their payments aren't even going to go up, then you've got if you do a lease option, you've got 12 months where they're leasing it. They made their payment on time every month. So you're confident, you feel comfortable, okay, this person can they can afford their payments, and that's a way to screen them. And then you roll it into the long-term financing.
I have several friends in this industry. I shouldn't say they only or they just, but the majority of their business is in owner financing or notes.
Yeah.
It's whatever you feel comfortable with. There's so many ways to skin it here. You can do it in a
Oh yeah.
totally different strategy than what we've been talking about today.
Absolutely. So, what separates investors who build real long-term cash flow from those who struggle?
I feel like cash flow is such an elusive thing that people get caught up in number crunching. Hey, this deal doesn't work. This deal doesn't work. So if you looked at all my deals, I don't know if any of them would work. 25 years ago, every full-time real estate investor knew that if they kept their home, it would not cash flow.
Hmm.
And that's why every full-time investor 25 years ago flipped. And then they just kept one property a year, maybe two, if it worked out. And those of us that did it are very fine today. So I don't want people to think like they've got to go on the TikTok and see this person who bought 50 homes last week. That's not, I don't even know if that's real. I just need you to trust your instincts. If you take it slow, like if you only bought one property a year for the rest of your life, you'd be fine. You'd be fine.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't sell a lot of books,
Yeah.
but you're going to be great. So just take it easy a little bit. Try not to be caught up in the competition of
Yeah.
what's out there. Yeah, so if you're a beginner, this is a slow burn. It takes a little while, but it'll pay off.
But that's a great way. I talked about this on another episode too. That's a great way to build a retirement plan, or a great alternative, or a great addition to whatever you're currently doing for your retirement plan, right? I personally, I stopped putting money in my 401k. I'm like, nope, I'm going to take all this money and I'm going to put it into real estate because I'm like, I want the cash flow and I want the cash flow the rest of my life, as opposed to putting into the 401k, and then you have no control over it. You can't touch it till you're 59 and a half. Then you're forced to take it out. You got to pay taxes. Who knows what the tax rate's going to be? Blah, 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 blah. Right? You can go on and on. Not saying that don't do that. I'm not telling you, I'm not giving financial advice on this show, right? Talk to your CPA or financial advisor, but that's just what I did. That's just what I did. And real estate, regardless of how you do it, real estate's a great retirement option. And even if you're just buying one a year, which most people can get their head around that. Okay, I can figure that out. I can do one a year. And frankly, the more you buy, then buying one a year is going to get easier because every so many years appreciated. Now you can take out some equity and there you go. There's your money for your next deal. And you don't want to get lazy and sloppy and start buying bad deals, but that's the idea. And then maybe you start buying two a year. And it's not even a problem because you have all these other properties that are increasing in equity. So I like that idea. Like you said, some people try to go really fast. I'm kind of trying to go really fast. I'm not going to lie, but I also like the slow roll. And it just depends on what I call your investor identity and where you're at and what you're trying to do. Not everybody wants to quit their job and jump into real estate full time. Those who do, there's ways to do it, but that's why I like it. There's something for everybody out there, right? Many ways to skin the cat, as you say.
My uncle, who I was referencing in the beginning, he retired with 7 homes. That's it, 7.
Nice.
And he has 7 paid off, cash flowing. He's fine. He's fine. His family is fine.
Yeah.
Let's just be fine, and then we can get crazy later if we want to.
Don't get crazy now, Andrew. Come on, man. No, that's good.
You can get crazy
if
you want to. I'm just talking about the people who, because you and I, we're going to be okay, right? We're aggressive. But there's somebody out there right now who's, man, I don't know if I should do this. And don't compare yourself against what we are. We're the end result. But if you are hesitant, maybe that's your instinct telling you, let me just learn a little bit more. Trust your instinct a little bit. You don't have to be in a competition with everybody out there. Just take it at your own pace and you're going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a question kind of just about learning the business of real estate. So how can new investors meet and learn? You kind of touched on this a little bit, I think, but meet and learn from other real estate investors. What are you doing? How can other people get involved, get connected with the real estate world and get started?
Yeah, when I started, man, I went to the library and got a book on real estate investing. And I was reading it. I was like, does any of this work? I looked at it, 8 years old. It was already totally outdated. The great thing about now can also be the biggest hesitation now. You can learn all you want. And that's where a lot of this paralysis comes in. But if you are in a major city, Eventbrite, Meetup, please go look for real estate groups that meet in person. Feel each one of them out. There will be some that won't be what you want. And then there will be some that will be what you want. Go to the nice and friendly ones. If you don't live in a major area, get on the internet. Let's follow a podcast or several. You can absolutely lean on some people out there who are willing to share their time. If they're wanting to share their time and they ask for a couple bucks from me, that's cool. I don't like the ones that are $50,000 and they give you a binder. There are those out there. I would encourage you to really think about those. But if I get some attention from somebody and they can guide me along the path, that's a great way for a beginner to learn too. But I personally like the in-person networking with people because then I can interact, ask questions, and learn.
Yeah. I'll be honest, Andrew. I think that's something that personally I'm missing, and that's why I'm excited to move because I have zero interest in investing in California, even though probably best land in the country, not going to lie, for appreciation and all that. But man, I'm doing it I need the cash flow right now. I don't really need the appreciation. I'm lucky, fortunate enough to have 2 properties because of the VA loan and all the benefits that I get with that. But I'm excited about the idea of going to Dallas. I'm sure you've got some places, some groups you could recommend, but going there and just starting to meet people in person, like you said, that's huge. And obviously as a coach too, some people, not everybody wants a coach, needs a coach, but obviously as a coach, I'm a proponent of it and I have my own coaches and stuff. And it's a great way to meet folks too, that I could help kind of guide them into their first couple deals and just kind of get started. Yeah, I'm going to definitely take that advice when I'm out there in Dallas. Cause it's just, like I said, even in Wisconsin, I grew up there, but I invest remote, out of state. But even there, when I do travel there, I try to figure out, hey, who's meeting? When are they meeting? So I can at least show up to something, and you never know who you're going to meet. whose list you're going to get on, and if they're actually a good wholesaler, or if they're actually sticking with it for the long run, getting good deals. You never know who's going to be part of your network that wasn't on part of your network before. And I've got Facebook friends that I still talk to now that I've just met it. I've never really done deals with them, but I've just met them at events in Wisconsin. And there was one event that it was the coldest day in over 20 years in Wisconsin history. It was like 30 or 40 below zero wind chill. And they kept the meeting, and it was 2 hours away in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They kept the meeting, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go. I said I would go. I got nothing better to do. Turn on the heat. My mom had to put this, it's called heat. You put it in the gas tank so the gas doesn't freeze. So she put the heat in the gas tank. I drove out there, and people showed up. It was awesome. I agree. Especially post-COVID era, a lot of people are fearful. They're just, let me stay behind the screen. And that's fine. You can learn things that way. You can meet people that way. I'll coach you that way. But there's no replacement for in-person. There just isn't.
I feel too, Chris, like if somebody came to us and was like, hey, can you show me this? Can you show me that? Sure. We might be able to show you just about everything except how not to be fearful. I don't know how to teach that.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you just to go do it. You just got to go out and do it. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. It's a long journey. Your first deal is going to be hard. Your second deal is going to be hard. Your third deal. But eventually it will become easier, and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can see what we're preaching about right now.
Yeah, very good. We're running out of time, but I got a fun question for you since you're in Texas. You spent some time around Texas. What's the best barbecue in Texas, and what makes that place stand out?
All right. Came to the right place. So, south of Fort Worth is this place called Goldie's Barbecue. So during COVID, several barbecue companies had to let people go. So there were these junior pit masters at different barbecue restaurants that were all terminated. And they decided to get together, all under 25, and create their own barbecue place. It is the top place in Texas and has been ranked the top place in Texas. People fly in from other countries to be there at 5 a.m. It is insane.
Wow.
The first time I went there, Chris, like I'm a barbecue person. I go to all the barbecue. They gave out a little taste of the brisket in line. I was like, this is the best brisket I've ever had. And then inside they had a beef rib. My buddy got the beef rib. And I was like, how is this beef rib better than the brisket? It's a food experience. It's a food experience. So if you ever have a chance to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, look up Goldie's Barbecue and get there early.
Awesome. I'm going to definitely do that. Once I'm out there, I might have to go there quite often. I'm sure barbecue is going to be a thing for me. I'm definitely a foodie, not going to lie. But I also started health coaching, so I also have to be on my health game so that I can set a good example for my clients as well and stick to the plan. But that doesn't mean you can't go out and have something unhealthy every now and then, as long as you're doing it with intention, you know what you're doing, and you're limiting how much you're doing it, right? So love that, man. Love it. And another example of people coming together. There's just something to be said about people coming together and partnerships and just doing things together. I mean, I forget the saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, right? And so that's a big piece of real estate. Even if you are doing deals yourself, you still need a team around you. You still need the network around you to help give you deals, realtors, handymen, contractors, you name it, lenders. So you got to build that network. It's all part of the game. But
I feel, Chris, like we didn't plan this. You're a Marine, I'm a Marine. You're moving to Dallas, Fort Worth? I'm already in Dallas, Fort Worth. You like barbecue? There's something here.
There's something here. We definitely got to do something for sure. We'll get together either way when I move down there, and we'll see what happens. You never know. I've done a lot of things lone wolfing it, and that's why I'm telling you from experience, all the listeners, it's slow. If you're trying to lone wolf it, you're going to go slow. I spent the first 3 years, like Andrew said, just trying to learn from books and just working with one realtor, and let me go buy this, let me go buy that. I didn't get anywhere. I bought my condo that I lived in, which was great, and that ended up being a great investment. It is a rental now that I got to leverage, but nonetheless, I didn't buy that as an investment. I bought it because I just wanted to buy something and stop paying rent. And so it wasn't until I joined a group myself and really started to expand the network that as soon as that happened, like within 3 months, boom, there's my first property. Because somebody gave me the idea that I didn't really think about. Oh, you can use this equity and you can take out a home equity line of credit and you can write a check and you can pay for a down payment on a duplex in Wisconsin. Why don't you go look in Wisconsin? You already know people there. You already have a network there. And so it was all about the network. And then other people just giving me ideas that I didn't think of on my own. It's not rocket science. None of it's, oh, that's not that hard. I could do that on my own. Yeah, you could, right? But somebody has to give you the idea. It's like, you don't know what you don't know, right? There's definitely the learning element, but you just got to be around people doing it. And that's going to spark ideas. You got to be in the room, show up, and you never know. And maybe your original plan that you had might shift to something else because, oh, wow, I didn't know about that strategy. And this deal that you didn't think was a deal, now all of a sudden it's a deal because you learned a new strategy. So it's fun. It's exciting. It's a big world and there's a lot to explore. It's always a new adventure. But I appreciate your time, Andrew. It's been really fun. Before we wrap, where can people find you? How can people connect with you aside? We are going to have in the show notes Andrew's information so you guys can look there. But just for anybody listening, where can people get connected with you, Andrew?
Oh, so thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. If you just Google my name, there'll be plenty of links for you to see. I'm often quoted in news articles and on different shows, but Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I'm on BiggerPockets. I'm on all the platforms. So if you just want to call me, my phone numbers, it's always my personal numbers out there. Feel free to give me a call. It is 904-718-6878. And I go by Andrew Postell officially, but my friends call me Drew.
Drew. Now I feel like I know you, Drew. I got the inside
Thanks,
name.
man.
And I got your number. I'm going to spam
it.
call you.
Call me. Good.
All good. All good. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Appreciate your time, Andrew. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Cash Flow Authority podcast. We hope the insights shared today help you take the next step toward optimizing your finances and building sustainable wealth. If you enjoyed this conversation, please take a moment to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review. It helps other entrepreneurs and investors discover the show. And don't forget to catch the next episode for more insights. Until then, keep mastering your cash flow.